Okay, question 6, and Ms Edge.
Mr. Speaker, just like to ask everybody, would it be a full-time role, and what sort of commitment do you think you would be putting in on a weekly basis?
Is it a full-time role? What's the weekly commitment in your mind? First up, Mrs Hendy.
Thank you. Well, I retired a year and a half ago. I retired a year early, but in fact, to quote my eldest daughter, she said, "Mum, you're too young to be old yet." And I can't see myself, you know, sitting in the greenhouse. I do an awful lot of active things as well. I think I'm healthier than I've ever been because I'm indulging in keep fit and Pilates. But this is a full-time role. I'm under no misapprehension that this is not going to take a full working day, if not more. I know from past experience, especially the scrutiny role and the ream of papers that members will get week in, week out, and especially if you want to do the job properly. It's not a constituency role, but I know your door is open because if you're an outgoing person, like I think I am, and you're approachable, that is also an element you might be able to advocate for someone wherever they be on the island to assist. But I see it as a full-time role, and I've got to the stage in my life where my children are almost educated now, and I can do something for me and for the Isle of Man, which I've not been in a position to do because of work commitments and family commitments. So I'm ready to give a full-time role. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Mr Hardy.
Obviously, this is an interesting one for me because I do have other commitments. It would be churlish of me saying that these things didn't exist. I have nearly 70 people that work for me. I've got established businesses. I've got responsibilities to people that I am in business with. But that is who I am. This is fundamentally what I do. I have worked 9 months when building the courthouse. I did 9 months without a day off. I'm always working till 6 o'clock Sunday morning, making sure the Saturdays are fine. I'm very, very conscious that an MLC role is a 24-hour responsibility. I am not someone who has ever shied away from hard work. I have no qualms whatsoever with regards to taking on things like this, challenges that will demand my utmost attention, and I have absolutely no problems whatsoever with regards to working late hours and long days and so on and so forth. It is a massive responsibility and it is a huge honour, and I'm very, very aware of that. But I also am very conscious that I do have other responsibilities to that. Through my life, with running 5 businesses at one point and obviously working late hours and so on and so forth, I'm not afraid of hard work. It's not something, I think you have to work smart. I think you have to look at the time that is available to you to make sure that you can give your best to everything, and it's how you manage that. And I'm 47 years old, I've been a businessman, I've worked for myself for a long time. This is a skill set that I think I have. I understand that I am not in a position like a lot of the candidates here today, but that is me. I'm not going to say that this isn't something that I do have. It is something that I do have, and I am aware of that, and it is something that I will be committed to. But I'm also very, very aware of the MLC role. It's a massive honour. I've got an ability here to, fingers crossed, add something to this island that I adore. It has been very, very good to me. I think, like I say, I view this island differently because I know what life is like elsewhere. So I'm very aware of how good this place is. And I'm also aware of the skill set that I have. And, oh, sorry, apologies. I knew it was a biggie for me, though. So.
Thank you. Mr Cartledge.
Thank you. Yes, I do believe it's a full-time role. I'm ready, willing, able and committed to delivering what hours is required. As head of HSBC, you are always on call, as I know every one of you are, and I don't have any issues, worries or concerns about the hours that are required to fulfil the role.
Thank you. Mrs Sharpe.
Yes, I do see it as a full-time job. I've never worked 9 to 5. Every job I've ever done, I've just worked until I get the work finished. For the past 4 years, I've been working 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week sometimes on a book I've been writing. I haven't been taking pay for writing that book. I've been writing it because it's something I believe is very important to get out there. It's about the history of looked after children in the Isle of Man over the past 150 years. What I'm driven by is is getting stories out there, is getting the truth out there. So I will work until I feel I've finished what I set out to do.
Mrs. Poole-Wilson.
Yes, I do regard it as a full-time job. When I first stood for Legislative Council, I did think there was a possibility I might do small pieces of discrete consultancy that wouldn't conflict with the role of being a member of the Legislative Council. I haven't done any discrete consultancy. I think the work is endless, as honourable members will know. There is so much for us to be concerned about and look into to make sure we have thoroughly understood. Even a short bill, if you want to look back at the underlying act or the act that's being amended, the Hansard around it, you can research and inform yourself and make sure you're on top of your brief for hours on end. So I do think I too have always worked full time, and that's not 9 to 5, that's evenings, weekends and so on. I regard the role to do it well as a full-time commitment.
I presume that doesn't mean you're doing indiscreet consultancy either. Mrs. Chambers.
Yes, this is one of the things that I debated with myself long and hard before I put myself forward. I do have a full-time role at the moment that I'm very passionate about. I think that brings with it benefits as well as disadvantages. It means that I'm working and have very up-to-date and I'm working within a post that I love. I have spoken to the directors of the charity, and couldn't just straight away cut my ties with the charity if I got the role. But we have put something in place that would mean that I could reduce my hours considerably. I have a great team there, and I'm not paid to be in the office 9 to 5. I'm paid to deliver what I'm paid to deliver, and I do that within the time that I have. So if it came to it, and I take on board what Jane says, and I'm sure this becomes an all-engulfing role, then I would give up the role that I have now, absolutely.
Councillor Skinner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't see this as a job, to be honest. I see it as a commitment. And I would be committed to the role. And I believe that my time on Douglas Borough Council has proven that commitment.
Thank you. Mr. Ramsay.
Yes, echoing Councillor Skinner, it's a very, very important and responsible role, and it deserves 110% commitment, if not more. So I would approach it as a full-time job, and I would have no other employment.